Hey guys, Leon Francis here, Blackbeard Logic, Guns and the 701 Network. It is April 6th, 2026, and there's a lot going on. Just wanted to hop on here. I couldn't get to the show on Friday, last Friday that is, and I'm not going to be able to do the show this Friday. Got a lot of got family coming in from Louisiana. Um, so we can go to the my son's fight, and just going to spend some time with family. So this Friday, I'm not gonna have a show, and so I just wanted to hop on here, give you guys a little bit of content, a little bit, a couple of things that have been on my mind, and for the last maybe four podcasts, in every single one, I've touched on this topic because it's kind of a big deal, especially for the folks in my ethos and in the circles that I travel, the IT sector, the networking sector. It's kind of a big deal, and I have this picture up here just to add to the atmosphere. Let's just say that. So I had Grok create this thing, and you'll see in the top panel, you see Americans of every different stripe there, and and you see them, and they're kind of welcoming these folks that are coming over here that say they need H-1B visas. And then in the second panel, you could see what ends up happening. And to me, this is a very real depiction because I see this. I see it in real life, my day to day. This is what I see. I see IT guys like me having our wages diminished because of the cheap labor. And what a lot of folks don't realize is this is a very old trick. It's a very old trick. Um, Democrats have been doing this for quite some time. Uh, Back in the day, they diluted the wages with slave labor. We still do it today with cheap Chinese products. It, they are basically made with slave labor, and we buy them, and it's still to ship them all the way over here. Even with that, when you have slave uh, labor, then the products can be dirt cheap, and that's what's happening here. They're diluting your wages, my wages, by bringing in all these people. And as you will be able to see when I play this next video, how that's being done. Like there are tons of Indonesians, Pakistanis, different folks, and not just in the IT sector, not just in the networking sector, the software sector, that sort of thing. Also in like the trucking sector, and like this is just it's not germane to my industry. There's a lot of industries affected because a lot of these guys they come over on an H1B visa and they don't even work in the tech sector. So they're working, I don't know, at a 7-Eleven or something or another. We don't even know where they are, basically. But apparently, there's a lot of money in this industry running these little hubs and different things. And I just kind of wanted to bring this to your attention. So we're going to go to this Fox News.
America's fraud investigations bring us to the golden state of California. Look at this number, $146 billion. Health and Human Service officials confirmed that.
And just want to say, because my buddy Jamie Breck was making fun of me with my small tumbler during the last podcast, this one's for you, buddy. Big Stanley. That's good stuff right there. All right, let's continue.
Number to Chris Rufo as the staggering amount of fraud in a single program in Gavin Newsom's state Medicaid system. Stop and think about that. $146 billion, a single program, a single state. That is slightly more than Warren Buffett's estimated net worth. It is more than the GDP of several small countries like the Marshall Islands and Dominica, just to name a few. And it is well over $100 billion more than the most valuable NFL team, the Dallas Cowboys. That is just for Medicaid, just in California. So imagine what the total number of fraud is when you count all the social programs in all 50 states. The Trump administration is imagining that, and they are now taking action in a stunning raid of hospice facilities in Gavin Newsom's California. Now, just this week, the Justice Department announced 8 people were arrested accused of defrauding the state out of more than $50 million. That includes one couple who runs a hospice care center in Anaheim. In a dramatic fashion, authorities swarmed their residents, sawing through the metal front gates of the property, and used a loudspeaker to get them to come outside. The couple is accused of defrauding taxpayers to the tune of $7 million.
Now, this is what I wanted you guys to see. See this fraud ring? See how much money? Think about the Minnesota fraud ring. And these people are not American. So not only are they driving down our wages, stealing our jobs, stealing the resources of these communities, you see, like here with hospice care, 98% of their patients lived. That's unheard of. It's unheard of. And they're foreign. And they're on they're Indonesian. They're on H-1B visas. That's one of the points I wanted to make sure you guys understood. And something else, and to go even further than that, do you understand the size and scope of the fraud that is being perpetrated against folks like you and me, tax-paying folks that go to work every day, bust our hump, and then the government just, without your say-so, steals your money from you, and if you don't give them your money, like if you pay quarterly, if you don't give them your money, they're coming after you. They're coming after not just your assets, but your life. So they're taking and this is something I've said forever. Your time on this earth is finite, meaning your time is valuable. Meaning when you go out and work and someone is taking a portion of the equity of that work, they're stealing bits of that finite, valuable, precious resource of yours. So I don't understand why more people aren't up in arms about our government. Just kind of runs roughshod. And I'm just going to lay it out there. They run roughshod over us. I mean, you see them squabbling on CNN or on, like when they're in the chambers and they have all this manufactured outrage. This outrages me. The fact that I have to pay these people to do so. We are $37 trillion in debt. $37 trillion in debt. And everywhere you look, there's billions of dollars being defrauded by people like this. And then when you deign to point it out, they call you a bigot. Liberals. They don't even know. They're cutting their own throats. But I wanted you to see that specifically. And then we're going to go to this cut here. So I had the Sarah Gonzalez clip on, I think one podcast ago, maybe two podcasts ago. And she was uncovering all the H-1B visa fraud that was going on just in whatever part of Texas she was in. And now here is another guy, and I'm so happy that these guys are kind of coming out of the woodwork now, these Nick Shirley types. Here's another guy uncovering this fraud, and just want to see how this grabs you. If my clip will play, let's go. Apparently, it's being his honor. He is.
2004. Everybody was Americans. But the fast forward, now you don't see any Americans.
This is Frisco, Texas. A once quiet farm town turned home to one of the largest and fastest growing Indian communities in America, as the Indian population exploded from less than 2% to almost 20% Indian in the.
Now, North Dakotans will be familiar, and that's why I use this clip. North Dakotans will be familiar with Frisco, Texas, because the bison. We, for a long, long time, especially when I lived in Fargo, every year we were down in Frisco. Every year. So that's why I'm using this clip here. There are tons of clips out there. I'm using this because of that whole Frisco angle. Frisco and North Dakota.
Many Texans are outraged, declaring there has been an Indian invasion. I pulled up to the Frisco Town Hall meeting to witness the clash of heritage Texans and their new Indian neighbors. Where are you from? Hyderabad. From India. Where in India? Hyderabad? Why do you think Frisco became such a big hub for Indians?
They have their own community here.
No, it's not like that.
Not like that here in Frisco?
No.
Motherland India or Texas, USA?
Oh, obviously, motherland India. Obviously, motherland India.
Really? Did you come here on H-1B?
Yeah, I'm on H-1B.
H-1B?
Yeah.
You're H-1B?
Yeah.
Working here at 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
We need more or less H-1B people here?
We need a lot.
Now, that last guy that's working at 7-Eleven, that's a red flag. That is a big no-no. So H-1B visas are for specifically high value. That means tech industry. That means your like your scientific and medical community. The H-1B visa program is to get doctors over here where we have shortages. Is where that comes in for these high value, high talent folks that code and network and do things like that, build apps and all of that. They are not for working at 7-Eleven. So that guy has an H-1B visa tied to him, and the person that got that for him is making money hand over fist, and he is not making that money. It's not him. So who is it? And how do these a lot of these farms and you'll see, I think in this clip, as a matter of fact, you'll see you'll have a guy and he'll have a mansion, and in one of the rooms he'll have all these SIM cards and telephones and laptops all set up, and they are bot farms. So when you see these accounts with high engagement and you research the account, like you look at some of the content and you're like, this is garbage. How is this content getting this much? It's bot farms. That's what Democrats are infamous for using bot farms, because it makes it appear that there are a ton of people that like your content. And there's a monetary tie to that. A lot of people are doing that. They're getting these H-1B visas applicants over here. Those people get over here and they're happy to do that. They're happy to lend their a body to that visa, and then they're working at 7-Eleven, and there's some bot, and it's crazy. And I titled this America's Invasion Problem. It is a self-inflicted wound, and I mean that. This is a self-inflicted. No other competent country would allow what's going on in America. That means our politicians are either in on the fraud or they're idiots. And what does that make us? Because we voted for these idiots. And they're doing this.
We need a lot less. I have 2 master's degrees. I was making over $100,000 a year. They said, you're too expensive. We're going to hire Indians.
If residents don't wake up, you could eventually have an entire Indian city council here, because they're showing up to the voting polls and they're getting their people in.
If we give this up, we're doomed. The devil would say, well, you're racist. That's racist. According to the devil's dictionary definition of the term, I am racist. I came here on H-1B.
When did you come?
2004. I was only one Indian in entire my team. Everybody was Americans. But fast forward, now if you go to my work any other places, you don't see any Americans.
I got laid off 20 years ago. I worked in IT. I have 2 master's degrees.
How much do you think they pay the H-1B replacement?
Well, at the time, 20 years ago, they paid probably half what I make. I haven't been able to find a job in IT since, and it's really sad.
My name is Shri. My name is Inba. My name is Ardav. My name is Siddharth. Hi, my name is Vinita.
This is insurrection. This is the overthrow of the United States government.
Why are people with multiple H-1B companies registered to one address donating to Frisco's first Indian mayor?
If these are truly high-skilled Germans or Poles, we'd welcome the net positive.
I urge the council to reject such a rhetoric that divides residents
based on where they came from.
Every person in this room right now, their ancestors have come from a different country, a different continent.
It seems like there's a lot of Indian people that are opening up their own companies and they have H-1B. So like, are they using that to bring people over? Are they possibly running laptop farms out of their houses and having employees from India do work? I mean, there's so many different questions.
H-1Bs are the scapegoats. The employers.
Again, what that guy said was 100% correct. And again, I know this for a fact because I work in these industries. I know that when you go to certain stores that seem all American and you work with their IT department, it's someone in Pakistan, it's someone in India. And you can ask any IT guy this. Again, when I was the network administrator for UPS, our guys that I would have to communicate with for our servers and our switches and it was never American. It was always an Indonesian or Pakistani. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, good God. So there's an American company with this many Pakistanis and Indonesians. No, what that guy said is correct. They're getting the money for those guys, but those guys are making pennies in Pakistan or Indonesia. And the guy here with the bot farm, who got all these H-1B visas so he could prop his company up, which is why what Trump is doing, what I heard that he's going to do is tie a very high monetary value. Because, again, I showed you in a prior podcast, on the H-1B visas, it says, this guy makes $100,000 a year and $100,000 a year. And those guys don't make anywhere near that. The guys that you hear on the phone, like if you're me and you're calling to get your switches configured and it's a Pakistani, guaranteed that guy makes like $20 a day, if that. They're making legit slave wages. Legit. And again, I know this for a fact. It's the industry that I am very, very familiar with.
But investigate. If we turn away from God and the Word of God, if we worship these Indians, these Somalis, if we just give everything to them, willing to cut your own throat, we'll die. So what do I think about H-1B or whatever? I don't want to go to hell. I do not want to go to hell.
So what he's talking about there is like they're erecting in Texas, guys. They're erecting all these Hindu and I don't know the different religions, but all these demon gods all over the place down there in Texas. In Frisco, Texas, they have all of these Hindu gods and goddesses, which are actually demons. These are not good deities. These are not divine deities because we all know there's only one. That's our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's it. All those other, like Shiva or Shiva or whatever, and the elephant-headed god, and the 20-armed blue chick, and all of that stuff. All of that is demonic, and that's what that guy like. The mainstream media would paint that guy as some backwater hick, but he's right. Like there's nothing in what he said was wrong.
Tourism. Women with
So see that I talked too long. Now I wanted to set this clip up. So this clip here. Oh well, you know what? Before I play this clip, I'm gonna hit. This is going to be a very very short show. I am recording it and I will broadcast it later just so you folks know and understand. I mean, you can still comment and I'll see them and I'll try to answer them, either on whatever platform that you're using, or, I will address them in an additional podcast. Good God, I can't even talk. It's got me so discombobulated. So, what I think I'm going to do here is here I'm going to hit a commercial because I don't want to short those guys. Those guys are the reason why I can get on here and bloviate for a bit with you good folks. Here we go. I'm going to hit the first commercial now, and we'll come back. So I'm going to set this up before I hit the commercial. What this is, like, we are getting scammed. like coming and going. The American citizen is the chump, and that's and I love the American citizen, but we're getting scammed. We're allowing Democrats and Republicans to use rent-a-mobs in order to drive the narrative so they can continue to defraud us. Now, this, I think, was back in 2013, I want to say. And this goes to the heart of something I've been talking about for a very long time, and that's this whole industry that surrounds birthright citizenship. So you have people that come over here for the expressed purpose of having their child on American soil. So they have an American citizen. And that serves a dual purpose. When that child is of age, and I think even before then, even as minors, they can sponsor like their mom or their dad or whoever. And in some cases, up to 8 people they can sponsor. That's one aspect of it. Second aspect of it is like the Chinese industry enabled by President Obama. And I'm going to dig into that after I run this clip. But the second industry is the Chinese, wealthy. What they're doing is they're flying these wealthy people over here, moms to be, setting them up, and then they have their kids here. That kid is an American citizen. And now that kid has, like, I guess, dual citizenship, because they'll go back to China to be, and you don't hear a lot about it. And I think it's because our media has played a big role in covering this up. But when you see little things like, there's a Chinese company that bought up a bunch of land by the Grand Forks Air Force Base. How did that happen? A bunch of Chinese nationals caught at the border. A bunch of Chinese Americans taking pictures of our infrastructure. And you think of them as like lone wolves incidents or separate incidents. I don't think so. I think that we need to look at this thing for what it is. Like, this industry is going to be this whole thing. Like I said, this is a self-inflicted wound. Like, no sane country would do this. No honest politician would allow this. But this, specifically this segment with these folks, with the whole Chinese birthing industry, that whole thing, this is Obama's baby. And I'm going to show you that right after this break.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
When you want it done right,
go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
Flower Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Come on now.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
All right, welcome back, Rock. Welcome back. It is Leon Francis. This is Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I kind of set this up before the breaks there. What this is our birthright citizenship being taken full advantage of by the Chinese. Our biggest geopolitical rival is taking full advantage of our idiocy, in my humble opinion. Now I'm going to let this play, and then I'm going to break it down on the other side.
Women with child who fly here to give birth to a brand new American citizen. They stay in what are called maternity hotels, and under our 14th Amendment, their babies automatically become U.S. citizens because they're born on American soil. This is legal, it is lucrative, and tonight Kate Snow revisits the story.
They look like mini mansions, luxury single-family homes lined up in this upscale suburb of Los Angeles, a quiet, sunny street. But spend some time in front of that pink stucco home with the white van out front, and there are clues that something unusual is going on here. Pregnant women, lots of them coming and going. Behind that suburban facade, a controversial business is operating. It's all perfectly legal, but the owners would rather stay under the radar. The same thing is happening across the country, on the outskirts of New York City, and we're about to get a tour of what few Americans have ever seen. The owner, Katie, agreed to show us around, but asked us not to use her last name.
All right, you show me the way.
Okay, let me show you the baby room.
So all the babies are upstairs, right?
Yes, right now the baby is upstairs.
Oh my goodness.
Babies.
Look at all these babies.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything.
Look at all those kids. This is one house. One house. Just in that one little tight shot, I counted 8 to 10 kids. And we don't see what's on the other side of the room because it's kind of a tight shot. But look at that.
Loud. Look at all these babies.
He's big baby.
They're so adorable.
Yeah, she's younger baby.
Yeah, she's 4 days old, right?
Yes.
And his name is?
She's boy Lee.
So that says Lee right there?
Yes.
The wealthy Chinese parents of these babies have no intention of staying in the United States. They're here just to get American citizenship for their baby. As soon as they secure a U.S. birth certificate and passport for their newborn, they'll fly home to China, having spent as much as $30,000 on airfare, lodging, and medical expenses.
So where's his mom right now?
Shopping.
It is instant American citizenship, sold by an industry called birth tourism.
What sane country would allow this? I mean, seriously, what sane country would allow something so idiotic, so un-American, in my humble opinion? What president would sign off on something like this? Well, I'll tell you. So these guys, just so they could claim birthright citizenship. And again, it is, I listened to some of the Supreme Court arguments because this is before the Supreme Court right now, the whole 14th Amendment thing, the whole birthright citizenship thing. And you have liberals like, oh my God, their hair's on fire. They're all wee-weed up. You can't do this. American. No. As I have stated emphatically, that the whole 14th Amendment, that entire thing was because Democrats, once again, doing something evil after they had enslaved folks that look like me and had to fight a war, basically, and they still treated you like garbage, and that whole thing. Their answer to losing that was, well, they can't be citizens. You know, even though you're born here, on a plantation and all of that, well, they can't be citizens. So the answer to that was the 14th Amendment. No, they were born here, and I go around about this because I like to think that those folks were pretty smart. And I think that the language is the language because they could not have fathomed, and they should have. I mean, they're dealing with Democrats who are evil and conniving and scheming always. But the plain language there, coupled with the original intent, to me is as plain as day. Plain as day. But the arguments that I've heard coming from the Supreme Court by all of them, I don't think that they're, unless they're having additional arguments behind closed doors, and I know that they are, the questioning that I saw did not give me hope that they would overturn this garbage. Did not. I don't think that they want to touch such a, because their whole thing is precedent. You know, um, long-standing precedent. Blah blah blah. This and that. There's some fancy legal name, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney, so I could probably be a much better Supreme Court justice than Ketanji Brown, who is an absolute idiot. But I digress. You got these these rich Chinese folks, and they're paying tens of thousands of dollars for this package. It's a maternity tourism. And that's housing, medical care, the whole works. They pop out a brand new U.S. citizen. They fly back home to China. The baby stays on paper as an American, waiting for the day that they can come back, sponsor their parents, or worse, serve the interests that have nothing to do with America, to serve the Chinese interests. Again, our biggest geopolitical rival on the planet is the Chinese. And this isn't like a side hustle. This isn't like a Uber Lyfts or Uber Eat thing. No, birth tourism became a full blown industry. Like, it's billions of dollars now. Every year on our mainland, this happens. But you want to know what the real scandal is? The Northern Mariana Islands. That's the big deal. That's the thing I want you guys to focus on. The Northern Mariana Islands. Back in 2009, under Barack Obama, he opened the door wide with a categorical parole program, letting Chinese nationals visit the Northern Marianas without proper tourist visas, without the vetting, without anything. Then he came with the 10-year reciprocal visa deal in 2014. And then in 2015, they changed the rules again to make birth a legally permissible use of an H-1B visa. Let me read that again. In 2015, they changed the rules to make birth a legally permissible use of a B visa. And then suddenly, a remote U.S. territory turned into a tropical maternity ward for communist China. Why haven't you heard of that? I mean, that story that I just ran, it's like from, I want to say 2013. Why haven't we heard of any of this after that? You'll notice that you got that, and I forgot what his name is, but that guy, he's not a dyed in the wool conservative, talking about that. He's a Democrat. He's a liberal, and it was a big story back then. And then everybody just didn't hear anything else about it. After that, births to Chinese mothers exploded from fewer than 10 to 20 a year to thousands. At one point, more Chinese tourist babies were being born in the Mariana Islands than to actual American citizens. China watchers talk about hundreds of thousands to over a million American citizen children are now being raised in China, thanks to this loophole just from the Mariana Islands. Kids with U.S. passports raised under the Chinese flag, potentially loyal to Beijing, but they're 100% legal to return here at any time to vote. They probably get mail-in ballots shipped over there. They can work in government. We see there are some in liberal cities all over America that are mayors. And it's a plan. They can work in government, or they can have access to every benefit that we built for our own citizens. They have access to all that because they are American citizens, because we are too ignorant to put a stop to it. Again, it's like I said, this is a self-inflicted wound, and we need to suture this thing. I mean, think about that. These are not desperate refugees fleeing persecution. These are wealthy clients buying citizenship like it's a luxury handbag. They exploit the 14th Amendment, written after the Civil War to protect the children of the freed slaves, and twist it into a get out of foreign allegiance free card for temporary visitors who have no intention of living here as productive American citizens. It's unbelievable to me. I mean, if you were trying to destroy the United States of America, what would you do differently? I mean, think of this show has had one topic tonight. And it's basically the self-inflicted wound of H-1B visas, birthright citizenship, and that sort of thing. So if you were trying to, if you were a foreign superpower and you wanted to infiltrate America, well, what would you do differently? And what does that say about Barack Obama and all the Democrats and Republicans that not only allowed for this to happen, that voted for this to happen? Like, this doesn't just happen. They changed laws in order to accommodate this. If you had designs on destroying America, there's nothing you would do differently. You flood the system with future citizens who owed no real allegiance to this country, and you'd make citizenship cheap and transactional. You'd let adversarial nations like China play the long game, which is something they're very good at. They're patient. They're strategic. They're thinking hundreds of years ahead while we argue about the next quarter. We're arguing about ICE. Oh, is ICE going? Like, I heard the fat libtard over there at the forum. Oh, we agree with ICE, but we disagree with Trump's approach. It's too. Are we really going to just argue about idiotic things like that while they're playing the long game here? They're creating anchor babies by design, not for families building a life here, but for foreign power to plant seeds of influence. Near fatal helicopter crashes, and it's brilliant and it's diabolical. It's clandestine. And again, they're playing the long game. It cheapens the priceless gift, in my humble opinion, of citizenship that our veterans and our ancestors, yours and mine, true citizens, had fought and bled for. We got to put a stop to this. Birthright citizenship was never meant to be a birth tourism loophole or a commodity to be bought and sold to the highest foreign bidder. It was not. We have to restore sanity, and secure our sovereignty, and make American citizenship mean something again. Something earned through loyalty, blood, sweat, and tears for generations, not bought with a plane ticket and a delivery room. America first. Citizenship for Americans, and it shouldn't be a global giveaway. We need to repeal or go back to the original intent of the 14th Amendment and ban this birthright citizenship nonsense. I think our entire immigration structure needs to be shut down, streamlined, and then revamped. I think our refugee program should be halted, streamlined, and if we are going to accept refugees, we need to put the brakes on, pause it, and then figure this out. Because again, our leaders, the folks that we're electing, they're not taking it seriously. They like that cheap labor, man. They're right in bed with. I'll say this. It's not just Democrats that like that cheap labor. It's not. But until we get angry enough to do something about it, you got guys like the guy in that clip that said, he's got 2 master's degrees and he's an IT guy, and he was making $100,000 a year, and they axed him and got a bunch of Indonesians, to work for half of that. And again, I have experienced this myself. I've actually experienced that. My job getting cut, and them staffing the office with like 4 different people who don't have my skill level, so they don't have to pay them anywhere near as much. I've had this happen like recently. One of the reasons why I have my own small business and I hung my own shingle out is because the last place that I worked did exactly that. Cheap labor. It's going to be the death of us. And I'm going to hit another break here, and when I come back, we're gonna flip this thing around, talk about happier things. Here we go. Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic, Guns of the 701 Network. We'll be right back right after this break.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
I am Leon Francis, and this is Blackbeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Let's get it indeed. Leon Francis, Guns and the 701 Network, Blackbeard Logic here. On a lighter note, tune in tomorrow where I will be with these fun guys on the Due North Political Podcast. And we're going to chop it up. Now, all of us are conservative, but one of the things I like about the right is there's a lot of diversity in opinion and thought. And so we all kind of bring that to the table. Perry and I are like long time Tea Party guys. before that thing got hijacked and all that. And Ryan, Perry's brother, he's a conservative, but I don't know. I don't know if he is as far to the right as me. And then you have Mike Maschenbacher, who is a representative out in Bismarck. So you got a diverse. And again, you got me, black Southern dude. So it's a really good show, really fun show. We normally try to keep it under an hour. We're going to be doing some fun things in the coming episodes, and we only put these out once every 2 weeks. Saturday. What am I thinking? What am I talking about? Once every 2 weeks, and it's on Tuesday nights, 6:45. And if that's wrong, I'll correct it later on. But Due North Political Podcast. Follow us everywhere. We're on YouTube, Rumble, iTunes, Facebook, Spotify, iHeart. You name it, we're there. So check that out. We have been getting really good reviews on this show. As a matter of fact, they have been outperforming all of our expectations. They've even outperformed some of the more well-established Minot and Fargo based idiots, the liberals, especially on our last couple. So we're pretty happy with this product, with this content, pretty stoked about it. And I think not on this podcast, but not on the one for tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow, 6:45, I believe it is. Tune in tomorrow, and we're going to have a lively discussion. But I believe the very next one, we're going to start having a guest. So we're going to extend the time to about an hour. We normally try to keep it right around 45 minutes, but I think we're going to extend it. And that last 15 minutes, we're going to have a guest on. And all of us are going to ask the guest a question. And it could be anybody. It could be a Democrat. We're going to do that. It could be a rhino. It could be a Democrat. It could be a NDGOPer. It could be an incumbent. The first guest is probably going to surprise a lot of folks. I already know who the guest is going to be, and you're going to be like, "Wait, what?" So tune in Tuesday, every other Tuesday, and tomorrow we have a show. So you got to wait 2 weeks if you don't see this one. But we'll see you there. That's the Due North Political Podcast. Should be very fun. Now, with this, I'm stoked. A lot of folks know that I'm partial to Fargo First. I think they're a great organization. I've been helping them out, and we have a really good rapport. I'm always happy with their content and what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish in Fargo. So I was very, very happy with this next video, and they do pretty good graphics over there too. I don't know who their graphics guy is. Normally, when I get a video, I have to do my own kind of editing and graphics and all of that stuff. But I'm gonna have to talk to those guys, see who they have doing their graphics. But another, they had an announcement today. My good friend Jay Thomas also had this announcement. But I wanted to play this video and then talk about it a little bit on the other side. Here we go.
Hey, Fargo First followers, I'm Michelle Turnberg, and as you may have heard, I am running for mayor of Fargo. After many prayers and thoughtful discussions, this decision comes from a deep belief in our community and a desire to see our city continue to grow in a way that puts people first. Fargo is a place I care deeply about, and I know we can do better by focusing on safe neighborhoods, strong local businesses, responsible spending, and a city government that truly listens. I'm not running for a title. I'm running to serve you. In the weeks ahead, I'll be sharing more about my vision and priorities, and I hope you'll join me in this effort. This campaign will be built by the people of Fargo, for the future of Fargo, and I would love your support and your vote on June 9th. Let's move Fargo forward together.
Awesome. So, again, I am a huge fan of Michelle Turnberg. If you know me, you know that, and I've been trying to get her to run for mayor because what they have now is an absolute garbage crap show. Um, and I don't see any of the other candidates getting in there and actually doing anything. Michelle has a track record. She is a conservative. She's a fiscal conservative also. And again, I made a meme of her when they were explaining things in their liberal garbage speak that they do there. Her face said it all. Like if your mom, when you were running her a line of crap, that look that your mom gives you when that happens. Michelle has that face like the entire time the city commission is up there, trying to apply liberal logic to a real world problem, and it always ends bad. Like Fargo is, I think, $1.7 billion in the hole. $1.7 billion. Their credit rating has been downgraded twice. We got a city government adjacent organization handing out crack pipes and meth pipes and needles, booth kits, things like that, and you're $1 billion+ in the hole. To me, it's astounding. So obviously, the leadership there is garbage. Not to mention, you got Zablinski that just horribly mangled any credibility that the Fargo Police Department had. Luckily, he's gone. But who are they going to get now? Especially if you don't have strong leadership at the top, you're going to get some liberal, another, like Zablinski was a liberal. He was paying homage to St. George Floyd. He was a kneeler for the BLM. He changed the logo on the cop cars from to protect and serve to some liberal BS. I forget what it is, like inclusive, diversity, blah blah blah, on the police cars. That's Zablinski. And the scuttlebutt that I hear is like John Strand, who is a liberal, progressive, just a horrible person. Well, I'm not going to say that. His policies, his belief system, his worldview, all of that is horrible and garbage. I wish he'd give his life to God. I don't see that happening, but that's who that person is. And his best buddy, Josh Beauchesne, is running to run the city of. Dude, if that happens, I'm going to Jamestown. It's just like I'm right between Fargo and Jamestown. Well, Valley City is closer. Jamestown has more amenities, though. So I don't see a reason to ever go to Fargo until they vote those idiots out. I hope Fargoans make the right decision here. Michelle Turnberg, that's your gal. That's the person you want at the helm. From everything that I know of her and from everything that I've seen, she is the best candidate, hands down. Hands down. Like there's not even a close second. The best, look at me. The best candidate for Fargo mayor is Michelle Turnberg, bar none. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Stay tuned for updates. I'm going to try to have her on one of these days before June. But keep that in mind. If you're in Fargo, put that date down. Make sure that you get as many people as you possibly can to get out and vote. Because we got Tony Gehrig on the ticket. We got Michelle on the ticket. Like, there's some key positions that are going to be on the ballot this time around. Make sure you show up. Make sure you vote. Make sure you bring like-minded folks with you. I hate to think that Fargo has gone full liberal. And without conservative leadership at the top, you guys are going to be in a very sad predicament. Very sad indeed. Leon Francis, Blackbeard Logic. It's been fun. I will see you tomorrow on the Due North Political Podcast. Until then, God bless.